What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another book haul video on the King Crusoe YouTube channel. For the first time, I think, on this channel, we're having two small book haul videos in a row because, well, two small book hauls in a row. And to an extent, I've got to admit, I'm actually kind of relieved by that fact because, well, this video comes out in October. October is actually the month of my birthday, and in terms of gifts and some splurging that I'm going to be doing on myself, presumably, I'm pretty sure October is going to be a pretty large book haul, and if September had been big, I would be a little bit hesitant about, that kind of thing happening. I don't like that. I mean, I have a lot of books behind me, and I still have to read most of these, so I don't want to be having, too many books come in every single month. And since I don't really have that much else to say in the intro of this video, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with item number one, being Gates of Fire by Steven Pressfield. Now, I got Tides of War by Steven Pressfield a few months ago and was actually planning to read that in September. No, it might have been, yeah, I think it was August when I had actually planned to try reading that. And then I put it on pause because there were some things about it that I wasn't really enjoying too much. But I don't know a single person who has read this book and didn't love it. So I'm willing to give this a try. I'm just glad that Tides of War didn't, just completely sell me off of trying to read Pressfield because I know he's a popular author and has a few really well-regarded books. I think Tides of War is just a little bit of a different one. Plus, Gates of Fire, seems to be a little bit shorter. It's like 50 less pages and the book is a couple inches shorter than Tides of War, so, it's a little bit of a shorter story. So even if there's a couple things about it that for whatever reason I don't like, it won't be as long as Tides of War is, so that's pretty relieving as well. Yeah, as I was saying, Tides of War just has a really strange framing device for how it works, and I just was not expecting that, so I didn't finish it at the time. Probably going to try to go back and finish that later, but I don't know when. But I think I'm more likely to give Gates of Fire a try sometimes, probably sooner than I try finishing Tides of War, but we will see. Item number two in this book haul is going to be The Dead Zone by Stephen King, and this paperback is actually a little bit more attractive than I was expecting it to be. I might actually try collecting a little bit more of these gallery books editions of King's paperbacks because, I don't know, for some reason the way that the Stephen King is written on here and everything just works in a way that I wasn't expecting. I really like the Anchor Books published editions of Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, and Night Shift that I have on my bookshelf over out of frame, but those editions of books only exist for, I think, those 4 copies in the stand, I believe, but then nothing else that King has written as a published version amongst those books. I think he has a lot of editions that are done by these gallery, and if I want to have at least some of his books, or as many of his books as I can matching, it'll be a good practice for me to try to get this edition or even just the normal Simon & Schuster editions for most of his other books. But, that's neither here nor there. So I don't know for certain when I'm actually going to be able to get into and read this book, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to be in 2023 because I'm actually going through Stephen King's whole chronology, all of his books released pretty close to chronological order, and this one is coming up pretty soon on that list. I just need to reread Rage, and then I need to read Night Shift, and then I need to reread The Long Walk, and after I've done all those 3, which I will be doing all 3 of those in 2023, I'll be doing this one, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do it in 2023. So I did pick this up kind of in anticipation for that. Like I said, kind of like the cover. It's actually pretty neat. I don't know a whole lot about the concept, but I know this is one that kind of seems like a sleeper hit. It's not everybody's favorite, but there are several people who really enjoy it, so I'm still excited to get to it when I do. And then item number 3 on the list is actually 2 books. Let me just grab them because they're chonkers. It's actually The 5 Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee. Now, I was actually, in a sense, kind of pressured into buying these because Mike from Mike's Book Reviews started reading them recently alongside several other people in his Discord server, and a lot of his mods and some other people who were talking about and praising it before Mike did a video review, which I actually recommend watching. That was a pretty neat review, was like, you should read this book. This is one that I actually recommend busting your TBR to be able to read. And I'm like, okay. So I decided, to put them in my Amazon Save for Later list. And was just like, maybe I'll consider picking them up when the third book releases or something like that. But then a bunch of people told me, just do it, like just buy them. And I was like, you know what, fine, whatever, I'll just buy them. So I did. So now I have the first two, and man, these are a lot bigger than I was expecting. And I say that about several books that I've picked up over the year, but I really mean it with these. Like even those books way over there, the Legacy Trilogy by Matthew Ward, I think the author is, right? Yes, Matthew Ward. Those books, I was like, well, those books are a lot bigger than I anticipated them to be. These ones are even bigger than those. And man, it's kind of crazy to think about it that way. These are some of the biggest books I've ever seen. And alongside those two, I did actually purchase book 3 as well. I did, pre-order it, but since that doesn't come out until the end of November, that probably won't be in a book haul until December, potentially even January if it takes a little bit to get here. But we'll see how that goes. And now we come to the final item on the list, item number 4, but technically book number 5 on the list, that being Rebecca by, and I hope I don't butcher this, Daphne du Maurier. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Apologies if I get it wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how it is because I did look it up, but that was a while ago. So I was actually not planning to pick this up, and I think I mentioned this in last month's book haul when I picked up The Haunting of Hill House, but the FOMO really got to me on this one. For some reason, I feel like I need to read all of the monthly classics that get voted in the monthly classics read-along channel in Mike's server, as I mentioned earlier in this video. And yeah, that kind of remains true. I had to skip a couple of them so far because of reasons, but they're still on a backlog of books that I'm trying to catch up on, being able to fit into my reading schedule pretty much as soon as I can manage to get to them, those being A Tale of Two Cities and Count of Monte Cristo for what it's worth. And in October, similar to in August, there was actually 2 books voted, one of them being Haunting of Hill House, one of them being Rebecca. And although I picked up Haunting of Hill House knowing that I was going to read that one, I was like, well, this book is short, and all of the other books that I'm planning to read in October are pretty short, and there are a couple people in there who have already read this and really liked it, a lot of other people who are actually planning to get into this, and like I said, the FOMO kind of got to me. I was like, you know what? Why am I bothering to skip this one? Even though I know literally nothing about this book. Like, I just picked it up on a whim because I was going to be able to read it with a bunch of other people. I said, sure, I'll just get it and hope to be able to fit it into October. And if I don't, I'm going to be really upset, but whatever. It's going to be however it is. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. Thanks, but no thanks to people in Mike's server for not pressuring me to get this or to read it, but making me subconsciously feel like I needed to. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Like I said, another small book haul. I guess I'm kind of subconsciously bracing for this month where it is my birthday and I'm almost certainly going to splurge, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a few things from friends, but we'll kind of see how things happen. But hey, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this haul, even though there wasn't really that much to talk about, and I kind of got, tongue-tied in several places, didn't know exactly what I was trying to say. There's a lot of cuts in this video, I think, compared to the last several, so apologies for that. But as always, check out seasonalproductions.com for a backlog of all of my YouTube and my writing stuff if you're so inclined and interested. And if not, then at least consider giving a subscription to my channel here so that you always know whenever I have new videos out, because as you may know, I do a weekly episode of The Book Binge, which is mostly book reviews, but I do a few different things every once in a while, and those come out every Monday right now. And this coming Monday is actually going to be a re-review of The Gunslinger. So for all of you Dark Tower junkies, I am going to be covering the Dark Tower. For some reason my brain was thinking The Gunslinger, but I said The Dark and couldn't figure out where that was going, and whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be covering The Dark Tower with The Gunslinger one final video dedicated to it, because rereading it brought a lot more of that book to light that I felt was worth discussing. So check that out on Monday if you're interested. Otherwise, this is the end of the video. I'll see you guys on Monday.